Hi, this is Tweek. On this week's episode of Tweaks with Tweek, we're going to bring in the sparkle and shine by creating a prism snowman. So join us. Supplies you'll need for this project are: you'll need beading wire, some findings, some 4-inch head pins. You will need beads. I used crystal beads for this project, a lampwork bead snowman head, some crimping beads, and most importantly, you'll need a prism crystal ball. Let's get started. To make my beaded snowman, I will need to start with a crystal prism ball. I got these online and they're absolutely gorgeous. This will be the base of our snowman. The next piece that comes in is a half beaded cluster ball. And let me make one of those quickly. I need 20 beads. I need to put out my guide. I've set out a series of beads that will be strung on the wire in a sequence of 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2. That's a total of 20 beads. I'm going to zip through this, so if you'd like a slower version, click on the link here. Now that I have my beads in a row, I'm going to grab my wire, a 0.018 beading jewelry wire, and I'm going to get a couple feet of it. I sometimes use too much wire, but I'd rather have more than not enough, especially when I get to the end and I want to make the tie-offs. And here I go. These are clear glass beads, so when I add them to the prism, when I construct my snowman, you're going to get a lot of shine when that hangs near lighter in the sun. It's really brilliant. So let's take our guide away and start constructing our snowman. I need a piece of wire, and I want it to be, maybe a foot or so long. Let me see. If you fold the wire back on itself, that's what I'm going to be working with in constructing my snowman. So let's go cut it here and start constructing. We start with the prism. It's got a channel grooved or cut into it, so we just push the wire through, and there's your base, and bring it halfway down. Now I want to put a little bead there just to kind of hold it in place a little bit. A little extra insurance. Doesn't have to be there, but I just like to put it there. See how it makes the wires come together. Look how pretty just that is. Here comes the piece we just made, a half cluster ball of clear beads, and it sits right there. Next, I want a bead of the same type that's going to slide into that slot by the cluster ball. So let's send that down. And it sits in that spot. Offers a little more, it's not wobbling around so much. And I'm going to add one more bead, again just a crystal bead, to help offer some lift between this and the next level. Another half cluster. Okay, So we're building our snowman. Next comes, this is a full cluster. And I'm going to add a little teeny bead. I'm just trying to get the wire to be a little more together and a little less wobbly. So I'm just adding a bead here to help fill the gap. And then I put on the full cluster ball. I'm just aiming, looking through and aiming straight through with my wires. We've got our snowman's just about constructed in that regard. Next comes his head, and this is a lampwork bead. Just a snowman head, and his head is included in this bead. Well, I will augment it a little bit. There sits his head. He's still quite wobbly, see that? Next, I'm going to take care of this wire here. I want a little tiny bead. If I try to put a crimp bead on the wire now, it'll slide into the spot on his hat. So I'm going to take a little black bead to put a stopgap there so that the crimper bead will stay and not slide in. So we got a little teeny bead there. Come along, Mr. Snowman, you're going to be so bright and shiny. Next, I want to add the crimper bead. And here they are. Get a couple out. Oh, that's a little more than I need, but that's all right. I'll grab one. And see how it's always already slid down to where the hat is. And then what I'm going to do is, I want this to be a nice hook with the wires. So I'm going to cut off some of the excess. And I'm going to feed this back into that crimping wire. A little bit of patience when you got tiny, tiny little spot there with the wires. But it is doable. Once I have it in there, I think I do. I'm trying to pull up to make the snowman sturdy as I can. And then I'm going to crimp that bead. And once I get that crimped, okay, now we've got a little more stability. To cover that up there, I'm taking a pony bead and I'm going to slide this black pony bead down over both wires. Got to scrunch up towards the top so you can get the pony bead on and just let it rest. You're going to see a little bit of that crimping bead, but the rest is hidden, and I think that looks good. Yes, Mr. Snowman? Next come his arms. Oh, good. Everything's staying in place. His arm, a 4-inch pin. And we're going to decorate half. Shove this pin through his top part there. And then decorate the other part once we're through. So we start with, I like to use the green beads, like a mitten. And I'm putting a little teeny finding just to brighten up the cuff a little bit, make it a little bit fancy. Got a little teeny bead cap there. And then I wanted to add, when I had some of these here, these are just little rondelle beads. And this is just strictly for adding a little more shine to his arms. And now I'm going to fill it up with some little teeny clear beads. I think these are 3mm beads. And I'm going to put 5 or 6 of them, maybe 7. I got to be mindful of how I am going to push this through to get it to be on both sides. So I'm going to stop right here for just a minute. So I've got 3, 6, and I'm going to come for either side, use those spaces in the crystal ball. And I like that there. I like that for the size of what his arm would be. But what I'm thinking of here too is I don't have a hook on that side, and I want him to be carrying a snowflake. So I'm going to pull this out now that I know I'm on the right track with the number of beads. I'm just going to push back for a second. And hang on to those and just pull off this little tippy end there. Okay? Because I want to put a hook there. So I'm just going to curl a little teeny hook. Just enough that I can help attach the snowflake on the end. See? So he's going to have a hook on the end of that hand. I'm going to straighten him out again on the bead. And that hook took up a little bit of space. So let me make sure when I push through, using those gaps, is that the kind of arm's length I want? And yes, it is. Put 6 beads on this side, add the findings, and put another curl. This is going to work out just fine. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to start on this side. Hold his body close as you can. Okay, and start loading up some beads on this side. We've got 6. So grab these crystal beads and load them up. I'd kind of like it to look even on each side. If it's a little off, that's fine. He's a snowman. He's going to have different size arms depending on how much he's going to melt, huh? Now, some of the beads sometimes slide into the snowball part. That's okay, as long as you look like he's got an even amount on each side as best as you can. Okay, I've got just enough left here to add the finding, the little cap, and the final green bead. So let's do that. Here comes the finding. Nope, the rondelle first. Rondelle bead first. Okay, then the finding, which is going to cup around the green bead. And to finish off his hand, we're going to put this last green bead. And there's a little bit left on that pin. I'm going to make a little curl. And that's going to help hold the other side of the snowflake. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have our snowman, and he's ready for his snowflake. You could stop right there. He's gorgeous. But I want him to be a little more special. So I'm going to bend his arms down, bend the pin, bend the pin. Now he looks like he's just waiting to melt. The little arms are down. And I'm going to take a piece of jewelry that I had found. This is a piece of jewelry that you'd make a bracelet out of. So it's got the little spots to go ahead and make a bracelet. But I'm using the snowflake part of it by going ahead and taking his little teeny hook. Okay. Unbending it. Taking one of these spaces. Okay, see? And I'm going to bend that hook back. Don't worry, it all works out. And if it doesn't, we'll do it again. So we have one snowflake side here. Okay, see the wire just bends. Make sure that stays in place. I'm going to crimp it a little more. There we go. He's got one side of his snowflake. Now just buddy up the other side. It'll be like that. So I'm going for that space, and this little hook will accommodate that. If I end up misshapening the wire, I will just reshape it back to what I need. So that's on there, and crimp it. So now our little snowman is holding a really pretty snowflake. Get your head over here. And look at how quickly he's assembled. I don't know, fix his arms a little bit. He can be holding it up more. His cap is in place. He's ready to hang. And there you have it, our little prism snowman. Oh, hang him in the sunlight and he is going to sparkle, and hopefully he will not melt. So if you like what you've seen here today, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you know when another episode of Tweaks with Tweek is coming along. Until then, sparkle up your tree or your household with a snowman. He'll last throughout the season. See you again.